you still think the three-fingered mummies are a hoax after this, there is no saving you.
Let's dive into the giants.
Giants are fun, and where do you want to start? The beginning?
So according to some Mormon folklore, yes, Mormon folklore, Bigfoot is actually Cain.
Effective 4 p.m. today, we're telling Nova Scotians, stay out of the woods.
This architectural titan at the Ellora Caves was not built, but actually carved from a single solitary rock.
Is any of it real? I mean, look at this. Look at it! A world built on fantasy. Synthetic emotions in the form of pills. Psychological warfare in the form of advertising. Mind-altering chemicals in the form of food. Brainwashing seminars in the form of media. Cold, isolated bubbles in the form of social networks. Real? You want to talk about reality? We haven't lived in anything remotely close to it since the turn of the century.
This, in all reality, is probably one of the realest clips that you will ever see online in a movie, in a TV show, anything. Or at least, especially about this topic, because that is 100% the case. And if you're aware of everything that they're doing, you're inside of the Matrix.
They don't even hide it anymore.
The season premiere of SNL with Ice Spice.
Ooh, look at us, 3 Gen Z icons.
Aren't you like 40?
No. Long time ago, I met this guy and made a deal where I get to stay 25 years old for forever.
What guy?
Tall fella, horns, red fur, I don't know, little hooves.
Keen, that's the devil, dude.
What? I thought it was like a Times Square Elmo or something.
Now, I know a lot of people are under the assumption that black people age slower than Caucasians do, but he has looked the same. I mean, I grew up watching him in like, what was that movie, Good Burger or something like that, and he looks identical to the way that he did back then. They're openly just talking about it, and that's the crazier thing, is that they put it right in front of your faces, and they always do this, but people just don't pay attention and actually put all the pieces together.
You still think the three-fingered mummies are a hoax after this, there is no saving you. This is easily one of the biggest stories of the year. This is why. There's actually 7 of these mummies, and they were found in southern Peru. The reason why these are so controversial is because they genetically have 3 fingers and 3 toes. There's enough tissue on these things to get very good samples. But in that tissue, like Sebastian here, are implants. His are made from osmium and cadmium. We only discovered those 100 years ago. They have elongated heads. Some have implants. This is really interesting because one specimen, Montserrat, was pregnant. The fetus already has an elongated head, one of 2 feti that we know of these creatures. This completely rules out head binding. You can't do that in the womb. Our fingers have very distinct patterns. Their fingers just have lines, straight lines across them. Posted this video up the other day talking about these guys, and apparently I triggered a bunch of people because I said these things were real. I didn't determine this. These guys determined this. David Ruiz is the former president of forensic medicine in Peru. Dr. Jose is the head of forensics for the Mexican Navy. John McDowell is the former president of the American Academy of Forensic Sciences. Just won an award for being so good at it. Using this, they sequenced the DNA, then compared it with the known genomes in the U.S. National Library of Medicine. In Maria, 97% of those were identified, 30% matched Homo sapiens. What does that mean? Maria is likely a hybrid organism or a new species. Hoax claims are slowly getting retracted. Here's why.
Well, the only reason you think that these are a hoax is because a journalist, remember the guy who was talking about UFO sightings around the Nazca lines? A guy named Manuel Caceres made wooden figurines that he glued together, dedicated to the Nazca mummies, to sell to tourists. These little trinkets, pieces of touristic art, meant to resemble the real mummies. These were confiscated at the Lima airport in 2023.
This is way bigger than disproving a hoax. Ancient Andean art depicts 3-fingered beings all over the place in textiles and even carvings all the way up to Utah. Now, the burials are strange. They're in caves and open-air cemeteries, but the strangest ones by far are the chulpas. They look like grain silos, but they are completely filled, and they use megalithic masonry techniques, the same that we see in ancient Egypt, like in the Osirian. But the link goes deeper. There's strong evidence for elongated heads in Egypt as well as Peru. And even though there's a shared iconography between pretty much every ancient culture, the one between the Peruvians and the Egyptians is very strong. These guys may try and deceive you by pushing a hoax for some reason, but I'm not going to add to that garbage. All my research has sources cited at the bottom of the page. And Jesse Michaels actually went there and did some phenomenal research. You have to check out this video. It's an hour and a half long. I linked it on my YouTube page if you want to go find that. Or get it straight from the source, tridactyls.org. They have all of the research papers, documents, videos I used in this video. It's all there. So yeah, sticks and stones may break mummy bones, but waka flocka like my video.
So this is something that I have just now come across. 3-toed and 3-fingered individuals, and they have found a multitude of them, including a pregnant one with one inside of her belly that also had 3 fingers, 3 toes, and an elongated skull. Now, if you look in the history books, a lot of the time they're going to show how they did this was they would get a plank of wood, put it right here and another plank here, and then tie it together on young children. This way, because their skulls are still forming and morphing together and fusing. So if you apply the right pressure slowly, you wouldn't exactly damage the brain, I guess you could say, but you're able to make it into an unusual shape. But since the skull was already elongated inside of the mother, that says otherwise. Now, once again, I'm not saying this is true, but I do find that to be interesting, to say the least.
You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
You cannot say that they are not just putting it right in front of your face. Everything that they're doing, all the evil that they are pushing. I mean, how can you just be so I needed to take a breath. I was getting a little agitated. If you cannot see what they're doing in front of us, especially when they openly state things such as that, and that's just one of the infinite amount of things that you can find. It's right in front of you. And eventually we have to actually stand up and start to protect our children, even if it is from domestic terrorists, whether that be the government or otherwise. That makes me interested to actually see what his altitude was, because apparently, even according to, what's his name, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he says that no matter what, if you've been in a plane, you've never seen the curvature of the earth, and that's all because of the windows that they have to use for safety. You've never actually seen the curvature. You can get 35,000 feet up in the air and still not actually see the curvature. I'm not stating that that makes the earth flat, but I am stating that everybody thinks that the earth is a sphere, and a lot of it has to do with first-hand accounts of them going up into a plane and being like, oh, I can see the curvature. But they don't even know that the windows go outwards or why they even go outwards. It has to do with pressure so that the windows don't break. But that also messes with the way that your perspective is. It literally puts a curve to it. Good luck.
Let's dive into the giants.
Giants are fun. And where do you want to start? The beginning?
Yeah.
Giants are in every culture's history. Every culture's got giants mentioned. Ancient Indian Vedas, Native Americans, island of Malta, East Asian. Every culture has giants. And the Bible, of course. Epic of Gilgamesh. So giants show up all through our culture. And whenever I see that, a lot of what I do is just pattern recognition. Like, I wasn't even really a flood myth guy until I started doing my show. And it's like, this flood story keeps showing up over and over, no matter what I'm talking about. The flood myth shows up, and it's always showing up at the same time as, like, the end of the Younger Dryas. Like, these things, it's just the same pattern over and over. Maybe it's a coincidence, but if one culture has a story about a flood, then they have a story. If two cultures have it, it could be a coincidence. But if you get 40 or 300, then maybe there's something to it. Maybe it really happened. So I'm pretty sure that flood happened. Now, as for giants is tricky because we don't have any hard evidence, but we have a lot of circumstantial evidence where the most recent would probably be late 19th century, early 20th, where you just had these discoveries all over America, over 1,000 of them, of these amateur archaeologists finding giant bones, and the story is always the same. Is this guy's he's digging and he's like desecrating a Native American burial mound, finds these giant bones, calls the Smithsonian. They come over, they investigate, they take the bones, they go back, and then it disappears. Like that happens over and over through these stories. Is the Smithsonian conspiracies always involved? But
So are you saying the Smithsonian hides evidence of giants?
I'm saying that the conspiracy theory is that the Smithsonian hides evidence of a lot of things. The Smithsonian, of which I'm a huge fan of. Like if I go to DC, I spend 4 days there. I love the museum part. But what we don't see is we don't see the kind of the dark underside of the Smithsonian. Like when it was formed.
Like the Vatican.
The Vatican. We can talk about that too. The Smithsonian, I think the first director might have been John Wesley Powell. I could be fact-checked on that. Who was, he spent a lot of time with Native Americans. He respected them. He saw them as very intelligent and resourceful. So they were well represented in the Smithsonian, but then he appointed, I forget the gentleman's name, but he was like the chief ethnographer for the East Ohio or something like this, some crazy title. And he gets into a position of power, and it turns out that sees Native cultures as Native Americans as not as subhuman. He called them specimens. He would put like their body parts on display and stuff. Look at these Native American specimens. So there'd be all these discoveries of these amazing mounds like the Serpent Mountain in Ohio and all this stuff all around the country. And the Smithsonian would say there must have been another advanced race here because Native Americans are just too different.
Once again, this is another case of not it just being a coincidence because it only happened once or twice. I have so many books just on mythology alone, going over hundreds of different types of mythologies. Every single one that I have come across has a flood story within it, where the entire world was flooded. That can't be a coincidence. There's too much that is showing that actually happened, just based off of the cultures alone that still say that it happened. And that's just for the flood. But then you look in the giants, and it's the exact same thing. Giants, dragons, they all were said to exist in basically all of these different mythologies, different cultures, religions, you name it. They're all there. How do you explain something like that? If it's not real, then everybody was just having some of the craziest dreams that were identical, to the point where everybody was drawing these, sketching these, talking about these. Does that really make sense? Let's use a little critical thinking skills here. And if you like the weird things that I'm doing here, and you want to see more like it, just give me a like, maybe a little subscribe. Just a little one. I love you.
So let's talk about the legend of Cain foot. So according to some Mormon folklore, yes, Mormon folklore, Bigfoot is actually Cain. You know, from Genesis. He killed Abel, he got cursed by God, and then he was doomed to wander the earth forever. Only in this story, he's 8 foot tall and covered in hair. But in the 1800s, David Patton claimed to have met a gigantic, dark, hairy man while traveling on horseback. And according to legend, he told him that his name was in fact Cain. As that story spread, Cain wasn't just Cain, he was Bigfoot, cursed to roam the mountains, hiding from trail cams. And at this rate, not being found in 100 episodes of Finding Bigfoot. Now obviously this isn't official LDS doctrine. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has not officially endorsed the Cain foot theory. You won't find it in gospel doctrine class, and no one's handing out Bigfoot pass-along cards at general conference. Either way, with all this, one thing's clear. If Bigfoot is Cain, then the wilderness just isn't his home, it's his penance. Or it's just really some hairy guy. One thing's for sure, he's not going to raid your campsite for any caffeinated beverages, at least none on the hot side.
So there are Mormons that believe that Cain became Bigfoot. That's interesting because in Scripture you don't see where Cain died, or how he died, or when he died. You don't see anything about his death. It just kind of continues the story. He's like one of the only people that actually does not explain how, when, where, or anything about their death, which is unusual. I mean, you even go back into Adam, Noah, all of them. they tell you how many years that they were alive. Like Adam was around for 930 years, I believe. But then you go to Jubilee, and Jubilee says that he was killed in the same way that he killed Abel. He was killed with stone. I just came across that part yesterday. I find that to be rather interesting.
Check this shit out. So the ride looks real fun, right up until the point that you realize that that cable should be attached to that hook. And then you wonder, what aren't they doing? But fuck it, I'm gonna ride it anyway.
I mean, you do you, but I'm staying far away from roller coasters. I don't trust them. I've seen too many horror stories about people getting chopped up and all these horrible things. I'm good. Not worth it for 30 seconds of me screaming and having a bunch of blood rush to my head. No, I'm good.
A monumental enigma, this architectural titan at the Ellora Caves was not built, but actually carved from a single solitary rock. This distinction renders it the world's largest monolithic sculpture hewn from a single piece of rock. Echoing with the mysteries of an advanced ancient civilization, the architectural colossus of the Kailasa Temple showcases a level of advancement and sophistication that challenges the conventional boundaries of time and technology. The temple possesses unique acoustic properties, suggesting an understanding of sound engineering that predates modern knowledge. Furthermore, the temple's complex drainage system, still functional after centuries, showcases an advanced understanding of hydraulics, piecing together the puzzle of this magnificent testament to human ingenuity and the forgotten advanced knowledge of our ancestors. The Kailasa Temple, a remarkable architectural feat, forms a significant part of the Ellora Cave temples in India.
I don't think most people understand how difficult of a task this would actually be. Think about any building that you build. You are going to start where? You start at the bottom up. They literally started from the top down. You know how difficult that would be? And all of this is made out of the same stone. How? Can anybody explain that to me? Because I'm lost. Hey, if you're liking this content, please give me a like and share and become lost with me.
Effective 4 p.m. today, we're telling Nova Scotians, stay out of the woods. We are restricting travel and activities that really aren't necessary for most of us. Hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of vehicles in the woods are not permitted. Trail systems through woods are off limits. Camping is allowed, but only in official campgrounds. The fine for violating any of these bans is the same as the fine for the ban on burning, $25,000. And if you're a smoker, for God's sakes, be mindful of where you're butting your butt out. If you don't, and you cause a fire, we will hold you accountable. So what does this mean if you have a home or cottage surrounded by a wooded area? We strongly encourage you to stay out of those woods, regardless of where they are. Please don't do anything that could unnecessarily put you, your family, or your neighbors at risk. This situation sucks. Summer is one of the best times in Nova Scotia, and we all look forward to getting outdoors and enjoying our scenic beauty that surrounds us. I get that, and I'm right there with you as Nova Scotians. But you can still go to the beach. In fact, that's a great place to be on these hot, dry days. Just no bonfires. If there's a short trail to get from point A to point B, like from the parking to the beach or to the lake to fish, that's fine. But that's it. No heading into the woods to spend time there. I know it's inconvenient. I know it's the height of summer vacation and people want to do all the activities that we so much enjoy in our great outdoors. We have a beautiful province. I know everybody wants to enjoy it, but we have to stay out of the woods. It's a small price to pay right now to avoid the kind of devastation that we saw from the wildfires in 2023. Nobody wants to go back there.
Not only is it inconvenient, it's unlawful. It's just wrong. There's no reason we should not be allowed to go into the woods. And I understand they're saying it's because they're trying to prevent forest fires, but you really look at a lot of these forest fires and you look at actually how they're started, and there's something else going on. But to ban them and to put a $25,000 fine, that's insane. That's tyranny. I'm sorry. That's too bold.
They're basically a city underground. Now there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. What you call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface. These mega bases are gobbling up our gross national product. Right now we're spending 28% of the gross national product on building underground bases. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. And the black budget is dead wrong. It sidesteps the United States Congress and its Constitution of its people and says you're a bunch of morons you don't need to know. Each one is built in the site. It used to be it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year. The infamous Area 51, S4, S2, a CIA base. The high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. It employs over 18,000 workers who work in shifts of 12 hours at a whack. Most of them working in cover of darkness. Each with an average capacity capable of basically a city underground, roughly 4.25 cubic miles hollowed out underground. They have boring machines, for instance. They don't bore, they literally vitrify and melt the rock.
I think I came across an article that said that they were doing this in the 80s, I believe. So they've been doing this for 40 plus years. Who knows what all they have going on down there? And this is all stuff that we're not told about. But yet we're supposed to trust the government with everything that they do and say.
All right, you come in. Hi guys, this is my sister Emily. She's 10 years old. I just feel like we would do really good with this money because it's obviously for my sister. Oh, close your mouth. There you go. Sorry. Sometimes. Hey guys, sorry. This is my blind sister, Emily. She is 10 years old. Oh, the camera's this way. We think that this would be very good for her and our family because obviously whatever cure there can be to help my sister. No, it's not funny. It's okay. Whatever cure there can be to help our sister have her eyesight back would be absolutely amazing, or at least anything to just help her get back, you know, her vision, because she got it literally when she was 6 years old. But she's good. She's good. I mean, she's doing well right now. She can function and all that. Yeah, we just think that this money would definitely save not only her, but...
You got to give her props, dude. She held her eyes like that for a while, and she pretty much did not start just cracking up. I would not have been able to do that. That was good. All right. Well, thank you for enjoying me, and I hope you also enjoyed the video as well, and I will see you on the next one later on this week. Thanks.